Hello my friends, welcome back to more Monsters of Folklore. In this video here, we're going to talk about the horn god from the Celtic mythology known as Cernunnos. Now, more than likely I might pronounce the name wrong eventually because I've been doing so many of these videos and so many names just kind of blur together. Cernunnos is a horn god found in Celtic mythology. He is connected with male animals, particularly the stag and rut, and this has led him to be associated with fertility and vegetation. Now, depictions of Cernunnos are found in many parts of the British Isles and Western Europe. He is often portrayed with a beard and wild, shaggy hair. He is, after all, the Lord of the Forest. With his mighty antlers, Cernunnos is a protector of the forest and master of the hunt. He is a god of vegetation and trees in his aspect as the Green Man, and a god of lust and fertility when connected with Pan, the Greek satyr. In some traditions, he is seen as the god of death and dying, and takes the time to confront the dead by singing to them on their way to the spirit world. Now here's going to be some history and worship of the Celtic god Cernunnos. In Margaret Murray's 1931 book, God of the Witches, she posted that Herne the Hunter is a manifestation of Cernunnos because he is found only in Berkshire and not in the rest of the Windsor Forest area. Now, Herne is considered a localized god and could indeed be the Berkshire interpretation of Cernunnos. During the Elizabethan age, Cernunnos appears as Herne in Shakespeare's Merry Wives of Windsor. He also embodies fertility to the realm and guardianship of royalty. In some traditions of Wicca, the cycle of seasons follows the relationship between the horn god Cernunnos and the goddess. During the fall, the horn god dies as the vegetation and land go dormant. And in spring at Imbolc, he is resurrected to impregnate the fertile goddess of the land. However, this relationship is a relatively new neo-pagan concept, and there is no scholarly evidence to indicate that ancient peoples might have celebrated this marriage of the horn god and the mother goddess. Because of his horns and the occasional depiction of a large erect phallus, Cernunnos has often been misinterpreted by fundamentalists as a symbol of Satan. Certainly at times, the Christian church was pointed to the pagan following of Cernunnos as devil worshippers. This is in part due to the 19th century painting of Satan, which included large ram-like horns, much like Cernunnos has. Today, many pagan traditions honor Cernunnos as aspects of the god, the embodiment of masculine energy and fertility and power. Now, they even had a prayer for Cernunnos, which I'm going to tell you what that is right now. God of the green, Lord of the forest, I offer you my sacrifice. I ask you for your blessing. You are the man in the trees, the green man of the woods, who brings life to the dawning spring. You are the deer and rut, mighty horned one, who roams the autumn woods, the hunter cycling round the oak, the antlers of the wild stag, and the lifeblood that spills upon the ground each season. God of the green, Lord of the forest, I offer you my sacrifice. I ask for your blessing. Now that was the prayer to Cernunnos. Now we're going to get into a little bit of research I've done how people would honor Cernunnos in various rituals. And your tradition calls for you to honor Cernunnos in ritual, especially around the season of the Beltane Sabbath. But be sure to read John Beckett's article at Fathos, the Cernunnos ritual. Now Beckett says, his presence, which had been mild but undeniable since we started setting up. What you think a forest god is going to sit quietly outside the door till he gets a proper invitation became overwhelming. Now someone shouted, someone got up and began to dance. Then another got up, and another, and another. Before long we had a whole line of people dancing, spinning and chanting around the altar. Cernunnos, Cernunnos, Cernunnos. Now another incident here. You have Juniper at the Walking Hedge has an absolutely lovely and moving ritual worth reading about called a devotion ritual to Cernunnos. Now she happened to say, I call to him with feeling, with love, with desire. I call unto him, I feel his presence. I do not assume a few words of poetry will be enough and carry on. I call until the hair on the back of my neck stands up, goosebumps run down my arms. I call until I can smell his scent in the air. When Cernunnos has arrived, I thank him with gifts by showing him what offerings I have brought for him and placing it at the front of the god stag. Now other ways you can honor Cernunnos in a ritual setting, including making offerings to him, particularly if you have a forest or wooded area nearby. Take some wine, milk, or some consecrated water in a chalice and pour it upon the ground while calling to him. You can also decorate your altar with his symbols such as leaves, shed antlers, moss, and fresh clean soil. If you're trying to conceive and you've got a significant other who's open to the practice of ritual sex magic, consider a bit of outdoor passion some evening and call upon Cernunnos to bless your union. Now, I didn't learn about Cernunnos till this year, and because there's so many Celtic gods and mythology, man, it just goes way back years from today. Now, the whole practice of ritual sex magic, I don't quite know what that is. If you do, let me know, and maybe you have partaken in this ritual sex magic. But everybody, this was just some information about, who Cernunnos was, his prayer, how some of his rituals take place, a little bit of history of Cernunnos. If you have any more questions, always feel free to ask me. This is Monsters of Folklore. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to always stay up to date when I'm going to be uploading, and I'll see you later.